Hello everybody, welcome to one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We are visiting Norway and we are visiting Siggerud, Norway to be exact. The world's #1 disc golf course, the Krokhol disc golf course, is going to have some big competition and big names on it today. And welcome to the booth in Helsinki. My name is Esa-Pekka Tupala. I'm your host today, and with me, the one and only Juliana Korver. Welcome to the booth, Juliana.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling today? You made it to Finland.
Finally, we made it last night to Finland, yes. We did go to Oslo initially so that we could play this incredible course.
So you agree that it's one of the most beautiful places and courses in the world?
I do think it's the most beautiful course I've played, yes.
That's a great news, and we visited this course also last year, and we had Silva Saarinen also on the field today taking the victory then, but we have so many more big names on the field.
I think everybody's incredibly excited to see Kristen come back and to have Paige visit Europe again after her very unfortunate accident last year. So I think everybody's excited to see just how those two are going to come back after injury.
And so many big winners also in this season already in the FPO, so many different names. Let's look at some highlights from those winners. What have they achieved on this season? Of course, we have Kristin Tattar, been absent for a month now, I believe.
I think her last competition was closer to 2.5 months ago. She's been out a little while with a broken rib. She's back now and can't wait to see how she's playing.
How about the Norwegian hero Anniken Steen?
Playing in her home state, a 3-time Norwegian champion. Here she is winning her first DGPT event in Texas.
And of course, we have to talk about Ella Hansen in our second feature card today. Took a big-time win at OTB. All of her friends celebrating with her. It has been a blast this season, and you have heard of this woman right here.
Of course I have, yes, Paige. Paige, very heartfelt win. She said herself she wasn't sure if she's going to be able to get back on top, so that was just a wonderful moment for her and everyone else.
Such a great bunch of names and moments already on the season. Let's see some storylines for this tournament at Krokhol, Siggerud, Norway. Kristin Tattar is making her comeback. She has been recovering from a rib injury, as you just mentioned, Juliana. Feels healthy, and we hope she's healthy coming into this tournament.
Evelina is not going to be here. They were both Evelina and I believe were signed up originally, and they have recently canceled this event, most likely to practice for the European Open.
We're going to have 2 courses there in Nokia and Tampere, so they are practicing their movements there. And then, of course, we have Silva Saarinen, who's ready to putt her way to victory. I believe it was about 6 strokes last year that she took this
That
down.
is correct, yes, 6 strokes. She won the tournament by 6 last year.
And it's going to be exciting to see her in the first feature card teeing off in about 15 minutes. But now we have the second feature card teeing off on hole #1 in Siggerud, Norway, Krokhol disc golf course. It's going to be so exciting. Let's enjoy these first tee shots.
We are ready for the second feature card.
Yeah, I'll look up for that.
First on tee from Seattle, United States, sponsored by the Discmania, Ella Hansen. Next player from Hamar, Norway, sponsored by the Sigurd, PCS Crew and VR Disco, Anniken Christiansen Stil. Next player from St. Andrews, United Kingdom, sponsored by the Prodigy Europe, Rachel Turton. And the last player on this second feature card from Hämeenlinna, Finland, sponsored by the Clash Discs and Sigir Bags, Heidi Leine. Wish the girls good luck.
One shot off the tee almost stayed on the green, but that's a rarity here.
The basket is perched on this mound, and it's not quite at the very top. It's off to the left just a little bit, making those shots that roll down to the right that much more difficult because it is a blind shot up and over the ridge with OB very close behind the basket.
111 meters par 3, mostly playing as a layup hole, but if you have the power to stick the green, it's going to be a nice birdie to have.
It's best to land directly in front of this basket if you can. That way you still have a visual of the basket.
Great to see the sun come out there in Sigerud, Norway. They've had some heavy rains coming into this tournament, but now it's also for those spectators. It's early Friday morning and they're already on the course. For what I've heard, these people really enjoy spectating this golf. Thank you everybody who has joined the players on the course on this beautiful day in Norway. Ella Hansen approaching the basket with a sidearm.
I like this approach. It's going to fade away from the OB and towards the basket.
That's an easy 6-meter putt towards nothingness, is it not? Rachel Turton, a fresh United Kingdom champion from this year, I believe. Just 1 week ago, she took down the championship. So we have 4 nationalities in the second feature card. Then also about 4 or 5 meters away for the par. Heidi Leine had such a great effort trying to stick the green.
This hole plays quite far because the basket is up on a mound. So you need that strength if you're going to try to get close to the basket. But if you're not directly in line with the basket off to the right, then you do find yourself quite a ways behind. Now notice from our view, we can see just the top of the basket. From where Heidi is, she cannot. She's much closer to that hill and she is blind.
Stay. those tingling feelings that we get sometimes on the green that please stay, they're on every single green today. Every single one.
Yes, the greens are treacherous on this course.
Hansen for par. And this event is sponsored by Latitude 64, and we're going to have them Pro Basket Elite catchers here on the course. And also great to see the Norwegian, almost local lefty play this course in the video card today. Line. In for par. And Turgeon takes the par. Great start in Norway. We're gonna back with you soon enough.
We are here. We are one. We will fight. We will fall. We will prevail. From the fjords of Norway to the shores of Spain, from the fire of Iceland to the hope of Ukraine, 30 countries, one voice. Go Europe.
Jonathan! 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 Wow!
Jonathan! Skulle du visa?
Hi. Yeah, check this pad out.
I think you should use your wrist a little bit more.
Why not?
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
This is Latitude 64. We handle the smallest of grains with the greatest of passion. Always trying to improve, trying to be better, out of curiosity, excitement, out of thrill, for the player, for the game. Because we want to make disc golf awesome for you.
Silva on fire as of late, looking for her 5th consecutive win.
That's amazing.
Perfect touch.
So much control on this shot.
Fantastic putt there. Gets another one. Bang, bang.
This is pretty good.
Oh, it's really good. Wow. Silva, count it on the course.
Perfect shot from Silva.
The Swedish Open FPO champion and also back-to-back champion in Sweden. Silva Saarinen.
Welcome back to Krokhol. The second feature card is on tee of 2. A par 4, 144 meters. Pretty attackable hole if you have the accuracy. But for a lefty, a bit trickier, would you say?
Well, she'll be fading towards the out-of-bounds line. Very good control right in the middle.
Sten has such an impressive control over every single shot she makes, and that's the reason why she's here and why she won the Texas States. Rachel Turgeon on the tee.
You can see all of the undulations in the fairway, and that's what makes the second shot on this hole so difficult. Not only does the hole gradually incline about 9 meters from tee to pin, you also have those undulations to deal with in your footing.
Line 4th on tee. Takes this one high, sweeping. Perfect.
Impressive distance.
She totally has it, and sometimes there comes those ever so minor mistakes that can kind of tumble her down with a few holes, but she's been progressing a lot, and this is the first season I believe she's able to make a fully professional season without day job, and on the wintertime she was able to push herself with the physical and mental training towards professionalism in disc golf. Last year's Finnish champion, but unfortunately not able to hold on to the title this year, as Evelina Salonen took it down last weekend. Here's Turton with the forehand upshot. Wow.
You can't tell from this angle, but this green is extraordinarily sloped. Up on the right, down on the left.
Hansen next up. She's rolling just a bit down, but in the circle for sure. Sten, also brilliant job from her.
Sten's ability to come in with either spin on these greens is very, very helpful.
Laine doesn't like this.
Got the,
Yeah.
a little too high, so it's a little left. It looks like it's nice and close from this angle again, but she's going to have an exceptional uphill component to that putt, as well as the distance to the basket.
We are soon ready to see the first feature card tee off. And we also have a third commentator today, Terry Miller. He's on the green, and we're going to hear from him during this broadcast. Maybe we'll even hear from him after these tee shots on hole number 1. But first, 4 players left to challenge the Krokhol Open tee number 1 on this opening day. We have Paige Pierce, Kristin Tatar, Tinja Väisen, Silva Saarinen. Wow, a great bunch of great names. Lykke Lorentzen with them in the card. Let's go to the tee.
Damer og herrer, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the feature card here at Krokhol Open 2024 FPO. First on the tee from Pensacola, Florida, United States. Sponsored by Discraft, 5 times world champion. Give your hands for Paige Pierce. Next player from Pärnu, Estonia, sponsored by the Latitude 64. First lady rated over 1,000. Yeah. Please welcome to tee, Kristin Tatar. From Horten, Norway, Norge, sponsored by Team Thought Space Athletics and Infinitists, Lykke Lorentzen. And the last player from Oiti, Finland, sponsored by the MVP and Power Grip, Silva Saarinen.
And there you have it. All the FPO players are on the field. And could we hear something from Terry Miller? Terry, how are you doing on the field? How is the mood there? What are the vibes today at Sigerud, Norway?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here in Norway. And as you said, beautiful day out here. And what a couple of incredible feature cards. Both our second to last feature card and this feature card have 4 different countries represented on each of them. It's absolutely unbelievable out here. The gallery is into it. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day with a little bit of wind. I couldn't dream this up any better, guys. I'm excited to be here along with you.
Thank you, Terry, and thanks for being there on the side. And we are gonna toss it up to you here and there to get some insights on the course. Bunch of great drives off the tee, safe place to the right side. Silva Saarinen trying to take 6 consecutive wins on Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe. And with this kind of field, it's going to be a humongous task.
That is true, but she is statistically the best FPO putter in the world right now.
That's gonna come in handy on these greens.
Certainly will.
Lorentzen representing Norway on this first feature card. Just tossing that up there. If you are a disc golfer and you want to travel abroad, for example, from the States, Norway has to be on your bucket list. This place is just amazing. They have so many beautiful courses and they have taken advantage of the surroundings. Here we can see a nifty angle for Silva Saarinen's footing.
There will be a lot of shots today where the footing is an issue.
And that's an interesting point I grabbed somewhere from those social media posts coming towards this tournament. That even though these greens are treacherous, Paige Pierce puts it close, yeah, doesn't get a roll away. She's lucky there. Yeah, because these greens are so treacherous, it actually emphasizes your upshot game and drives more than your putting, because you have to know how to land your disc.
Exactly. You typically want to match the angle that your disc is coming in to the land, the slope of the land, so as not to get those rollaways.
Now, Juliana, how much more difficult is that when the green is 10 meters above you?
It's almost impossible. Yeah, they're just trying to get over that slope with a very slow shot, hoping that it doesn't have the speed to go past the basket.
those are the kind of putts that Silva Saarinen is hoping to give all of you on the other side of the screen and on the field today and for all the 3 days straight. Her C1X for this season was ridiculously high.
86%, I think.
Yeah, something. And last season, I believe she was behind Ons Goggins with only like 0.3% units, something like that.
And that's similar to the margin that she's above Own this year. So Own is very, very close.
Second feature card. Tee number 3, and Juliana, you played this whole few days past. You were able to visit the place. Does this look easy on the tee, or?
Well, I mean, it doesn't look easy, but it actually looks straightforward. It looks easier than it is. You can't tell from the tee that it drops off drastically both right and left side.
Rachel Turgeon getting really lucky there in the bullseye through a couple of trees on the right. Laine, like many Finnish players, like to throw those standstill shots, and they might come in handy this tournament.
That is going to be an incredible advantage on this course, because when there is an uphill run-up, not necessarily on the tee, but in the fairway, when there's a uphill run-up, it really takes your power away. It changes your timing. So if you can stand still and throw, that's excellent.
This hole number 2 is one of those holes that actually has the most plain field on your upshot, but the green is sloping. Look at this. This gives you some idea of what kind of a green they are facing. Really attackable par 4 if you get a solid shot off the tee and you can control your upshot angle. That's gonna be money. On the tee of hole number 2, we have Paige Pierce rocking that Norway hat. Big and high, fading into the middle. There's many options from there. Tatar, second on the tee. Nice shot on the right side. Juliana, do you think we are going to see a second shot going over the out of bounds towards the green with the hyzer, or are all those players going to approach it with the gap on the left?
I definitely expect Kristen to do a sidearm into the green so that she's skipping up towards the basket. It'd be very, very hard to get the disc to stop coming in from right to left. Even if you landed above the basket 8 or 9 meters, I think it would still skip all the way down to the bottom of the hill.
Saarinen also in the middle.
That was a little bit shorter. I'm not sure that she's going to have the power to get to the green.
And something we have to address from Silva as we see the second feature card on the green of 3, taking some birdies. She likes to throw those turnover flex lines, and they tend to land flat or even with an even so slight cutting angle. But she can't have that on this green of 2 because the slope is going right to left.
Oh yeah, not on the green. No, certainly not. But she can also putt with ease from outside of 10 meters. So the question is, can she do so when the basket is also 6-7 meters above your head?
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see. Last year she did fine with this basket, but she had a real tough time last weekend in the Finnish Nationals. If you haven't watched it, I really highly suggest that you take a look. Also found on Disc Golf Network Pro subscription model. Hole 18 at Sippe Disc Golf Course was really demanding a water carry, and Silva had really tough time there. And we also saw some rare big emotions from her, and it's going to be really tempting to see. I'm tempted to see how Silva has recovered from those times on the green of 18 at Sibbe. Here she's doing pretty fine. Landed just a bit past the basket. We hope those trees stopped her disc going forward on the green. Lorentzen up next.
Great edge control on that shot.
The level of the field and level of the players has picked up from last year. We didn't see any star frames last year on hole 3, but already we have one on the opening day, and that belongs to the second feature card. They all got birdies on 3. Paige goes from the right side.
Surprising. It looks like she did it well, though.
Yeah. Landing high on those wood chips is better than landing pin, like lined on with the pin, because then it skips down. And as you were thinking about, Tatar will take the forehand up shot. Stay. She did well. Coming in with a bit of a force, would you say? Quite fast, that
I
shot.
thought that was going to have a chance to hit the pin right there.
Sten takes the lefty sidearm from tee of 4. And why not? Edge of the bullseye. Oh, Turton turning this one over to the out of bounds. Laine. Low but stable. Gets a huge skip and roll down to bullseye's edge. Okay, well, that's a play.
That works. Silva did stay fairly close to the pin. No problem.
Great birdie for Saarinen. Kristin Tattar. You can now see the angle that these players are facing. No problem.
Despite how easy those two made those putts look, it is significantly harder to putt when the basket is raised above your head.
Lorentzen gets the birdie. So we got a star frame from hole number 2 for the first feature card. Turton now trying to save her par. It's going to be in the bullseye for her first bogey of the round. We hope that's going to be the last. Hansen just a bit short. Anniken Sten takes the birdie. How about Heidi Laine? Also a great birdie for her. So 2 birdies for the second feature card from hole number 4. As the first feature card is looking at hole number 3, we're going to take a look at it too.
As I
Par
mentioned,
3, yeah.
I mentioned before that this feels very straightforward, but there's a lot of hidden dangers. The basket is, or the fairway is on the top of this ridge, and off to the left, it is extremely severely sloped, so much so that there is an area that plays as, it's not hazard because there's no penalty, but you can't play from it. So you get to take relief as if it was out of bounds without a penalty stroke because it's just too dangerously steep.
And one fear I always have on these kind of tees is that if I hit it too low and I hit those rocks on the ground, I might also get the roll away. And I believe it was Paul Macbeth who said that from these trees, if you hit them, you get a specific out of this word clonk sound that tells you this is doom. And that sound, if you get one, it's gonna ring in your ears for the whole night to come. Paige Pierce's beautiful shot in the bullseye almost, near the basket. Tatar takes the forehand.
That needs to come back to the left, or to the right, I'm sorry. That is a beneficial kick. Hopefully it didn't roll down.
And we hope it landed kind of flat and stayed there. Lorentzen on the tee. You hear that? Saarinen also has the capabilities to navigate these kind of tunnels. Can she execute now? No. A super favorable second kick towards the basket.
That kept her close to the middle of the fairway. She should be able to find a line towards the pin from there. So advantage Pierce after those 3 drives.
Anniken Steen, tee of 5. Longer par 4, 175 meters. Talk about a treacherous green.
Again, yes.
Anniken is on the right side. Saarinen takes her second.
You can see she did have a very nice line to the pin from where she ended up, thanks to that second kick.
Lorentzen still quite far away. Solid layup. Heidi Laine, tee of 5, takes the forehand. Also there on the right side. Staying away from the out of bounds, and we're gonna, of course, talk about these things that are happening on hole 5 at Hansen.
Yeah, she knew she didn't release that well as soon as she let go of it. This is a left to right turning shot to stay away from the out of bounds on the left side. Exceptional placement right there.
Yeah, Turton is clearly in the middle. Tatar stayed there, but she's still about 30 meters away. This feels like a 20-meter putt.
Oh my goodness. Fantastic job. Having enough power to get that up that high into the basket. Amazing.
Kristin Tatar showing us that she's here and she's back, folks. I wasn't going anywhere. Did you think that? No. No, we didn't, Kristin. She's showing us why she's in the first feature card. Amazing. Job well done. And now Paige Pierce matches the birdie. That's a statement for other players in the card.
Absolutely. You might think you have an opportunity to get one on Kristin, and not to be.
Saarinen taps in the par with Lorenzen. Big results from the field and from these two feature cards we have. So many birdies already on their scorecards. And the race is on. Anneli Togias-Männiste also from Estonia, making it good. She's already 9 holes down the fairway, but she's 3 under par. How, Juliana, how would you feel would be the hot score for the day for the FPO?
You know, I was trying to figure that out just last night, and I thought a 4 or a 5 would be a fantastic score, but I think they're already proving me a little bit too conservative on that guess.
We hope they can keep this pace up. It's going to be difficult. The out of bounds is lurking everywhere. There's this beautiful river that goes through the property on some of those holes in back 9. Do you have a favorite hole on the course while you were playing it? Where did you feel the most like, wow, this is something?
I'll tell you it when we get to it because I don't remember the numbers. It's the one that had the pond in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe 8, I think that might have been.
Yeah, you just give us the heads up when we get there. Ella Hansen takes her 3rd. This is in the woods. I feel like every single green we can say that yeah, this is a death putt, or yeah, this is something else.
Almost every single one. This particular green is a little bit flatter, but there is out of bounds somewhat close.
Pierce takes these 2 left.
That is an easy mistake to make. It's hard to get too far into the woods on the left because the land slopes up significantly right there. So you are obstructed, but you don't have more than a meter or 2 before you're out of the woods.
Tatar also hits the left side.
This is a significantly downhill shot. It's 13 meters down, which is about 43 feet of elevation loss.
Lykke Lorentzen forces this one over. This is looking beautiful. Roll just a bit, and she's there. The bush where Paige and Kristin landed on the left, Saarinen was actually struggling there on the final round of last tournament here. And it's thick, guys. It's really bad place to be. And Silva gets through on the branches, and she's almost in the bullseye.
Looks like Silva threw a very slow, straight shot there, which is what I would prefer on this one instead of trying to throw something overstable and have it fade back to the basket, because the risk is that it will fade too quickly into the trees.
Lorentzen gets the favorable roll towards the basket. So 2 birdies looking up for these first feature card players. And left to be seen if those other 2 can save the par from the bush. If Kristin is going to take a birdie from there, I'm out. You can take this whole control room to yourself, and I'm out for the weekend. Sten, nice upshot, but still on the edge of the circle, and you'd like to be closer. For this past season at the DGPT Europe, I'm calling this particular green, when it comes to the upshot and the power in the upshot, this is one of the most specific greens that you have to control the speed of the disc.
Yeah, this course continues to test that particular skill.
Kristin finds a way to straddle herself a look for the sidearm play, but if this gets a cut roll, it might be out of bounds right.
She looks to be throwing a putter, something very neutral, so that it hopefully won't get such a roll.
she's Kristin Tattar after all. There she is. Near the bullseye for par. And please call me if it isn't so, but we rarely see the same mistake from Kristin Tattar in same tournament twice.
Well, there's so few mistakes, period. That it's hard for her to double up on them. But yes, that is very true. She does learn from herself.
Here's Pierce. She actually pierced her way towards the basket, and she can see it clearly. And that is in the bullseye for par. Anniken Steen hitting the band. Luckily stayed in the circle. Saves the par. How about Tattar? In the basket for par. Saarinen takes her second birdie of the round. 2 down. Lorentzen, hard for birdie. Paige Pierce saves the par. So no harm done practically after those tee shots from Pierce and Tattar going to the left. Laine, this was her par.
No harm done to the scorecard, I would say, but that is really, number 4 really is one that you want to get a birdie on.
Let's look at this next one. Hole 5, par 4, 175 meters, not nearly as attackable as hole 2.
No, certainly not. So you play up and over a bit of a ridge to start, and then you need as much distance as possible on your first 2 shots in order to approach the basket on your third. The basket is protected by these birch trees in front here that are maybe 11 or 12 meters from the pin, and the basket does have a slope behind and to the right that slopes down away from the basket.
Anniken Steen and Anneli Togias-Männistö in the lead, currently 3 down for the round. All the top 9 players under par still on this really demanding course. And although we've seen many great birdies and great saves already on this coverage, these are not simple holes, folks.
No, there's not a simple hole out here.
Lorentzen, tee of 5. Saarinen up next. Really likes these turnover plays and actually enjoys that putt roll.
Because of how this tee pad is tucked back into the woods, it really forces a little bit of a left to right turn on the drive.
Pierce. This is going right. Couldn't quite catch where it landed, but it might not be good.
Based on that sound, I'd say no.
jah, see lõpuks seal, kus sul kahe teisi vahel välja võtta.
On the green for Anniken on hole 6.
Line taking this one high, same hole. Turton near the basket on hole 6. Hansen takes the forehand and luckily stays there besides the basket.
The danger on this hole is that there is an extreme drop-off behind the basket.
Remember, folks, the 2024 European Open is just around the corner. It's going to be here next week. Don't miss a moment of this DGN Pro exclusive event. Subscribe to DGN Pro today and use code EUROPE20 at checkout to receive 20% off your first full month. So that's a great discount code for all of you not yet subscribed to the Pro description at DGN. Paige Pierce throwing her second. She has a line towards the fairway. Oh, and that is a misrelease. Real close to the out of bounds. Did I call it too harshly? Was that a miss?
That was a miss. That was absolutely a miss, yeah. She thought for sure that was out of bounds. I believe she lucked out and it did not go out of bounds, but it still did not give her a lot of forward progress.
Why would you do that?
Lykke Lorentzen stayed tucked with the birch on the right side. Takes the forehand out of there. That's a fine shot. Oh, and she gets the red flag, so she actually went out of bounds. It seemed to me that she faded just in.
And I think I need to correct my previous statement about Paige not making forward progress. That looked like the similar view, and you could see now she's hoping that, we do see Ellis disc. It did stay. Like I said earlier, there's an extreme drop off behind this basket.
Yeah, so Paige might have gotten some.
I think she did get far enough up there that she'll still be able to attack the pin if she chooses to.
And Kristin Tattar gets a red flag with her approach. I don't know if she was going for the basket there or just a big upshot towards the par, but she's nevertheless out of bounds. Look at that putt from Anniken Steen. Making a full forward flip on the cage.
You don't see that often.
Line gets an important birdie on hole 6, as did Steen. Maybe even more important that Ella Hansen stayed where her disc landed from the basket. Saarinen, if she's able to get this one up close to her putting distance, which is about 15 meters.
Oh, she hit that tree, protected tree, so she's middle of circle 2, maybe outside of circle 2.
Now we've seen Silva running every single putt she has, but does she run every single here today? What is your prediction? Do we see her running every single thing that she can?
Well, I personally can't imagine running shots on some of these baskets, but I'm nowhere close to the percentage that she is on her putting this year.
Lorentzen, this is her 4th now. That's about 9 meters, 8 meters still left. Once again, welcome to join the Krokhol Open stream number 1 FPO Friday early morning at Norway, and even earlier in the States if you're following us from there. Thank you for joining via Disc Golf Network as Paige Pierce. Great putt and way deep. This was her 3rd and she's gonna pick up a par. She will be happy about that.
Yeah.
After that shot off the tee.
And then after that second shot where you could tell that she thought she had thrown it out of bounds.
Tatar takes her 4th, and that's a layup for bogey. Tatar will be back 1 under par for the round after this hole. And now Saarinen. Let's see what she's gonna do. She's running this.
Very safe run. Well done.
She's parked for par. Lorentzen now putting for bogey. About 9 meters away. Staring at the downhill. After the basket, but she's in. Great save from Lykke. Tatar grabs the bogey. Saarinen, an important par save. Wow, we'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
Introducing the Birdie Derby, a ready-to-run tournament package from Prodigy Disc. It's the perfect 3-disc tournament to welcome new players and give experienced throwers something new to try. Learn more and host a derby today at discgolfderby.com.
The relationship with Suga, it's just like a family. Sometimes they just surprise send me things I'm not even know. When I arrive home, boom, the box.
Such a great product, and Zuka's always there for me whenever I need anything.
After every tournament, I get a call. No matter the results, they're always there supporting me.
They have so many different things that can be a solution for a disc golfer.
That was really one of the main reasons why we partnered, is because I wanted the best of the best.
How do they know I want that? I'm like, duh, that's how the family thinking about you.
Silva Saarinen, tee of 6, par 3, 77 meters, really short one, but she goes too far, and that might be a bit of a jail.
And now we get to see just how drastically it goes down on the far side of the basket.
A bit of a misjudgment from Saarinen on the tee. How about Paige Pierce?
But you do have to throw up and over that mound, so you have to throw it high enough and hard enough to clear that, but then yet have it stopped by the pin.
Lorentzen. Going high, going slower. Fades a bit, but does it stay? Yeah, she circles edge.
Might be difficult to find a line through there, but she should be able to lay up no problem.
Tatar sidearm, a bit early, needs this to stay, and it does. One thing that I need to hear from, I've been looking at that hat with Paige Pierce, and we're gonna hear about that. Terry Miller on the field, do you have anything to tell us about that hat? That's beautiful.
Yeah, it certainly is colorful, and I got a picture of her wearing it earlier. I heard that when she was visiting over with the PCS guys over in Vestnes, that she may have lost a bet, and that's why she is sporting the hat here this weekend. So Paige went back to visit the place where she had that injury from last year. She made amends, and then in the meantime, she may have lost a bet. So still sporting some Norway pride. I love it.
Thank you, Terry Miller. That's a great insight, and I'm going to admit to you that fits Paige really well. With this scenery, and she's rocking it quite well for what I can see. And I heard about this plan of Paige's to go there at the spot where it all happened and make amends. And that might be a big team thing for her to get through with all that comes with that kind of injury.
Absolutely. Couple that with her win at the Portland Open, I believe it was, and hopefully she has closed this chapter of her career.
Silva Saarinen laying one up. That's not for all of your folks at home. She also does that sometimes. Here's Kristin Tatar for birdie. That's in. Pierce gets the birdie done. So Pierce and Tatar taking the birdies on hole 6, while Saarinen and Lorentzen tap in their pars. We're going on with the second feature card. Hole 7, Anniken Steen on the tee. Another par 4. The distance is similar to hole 2, about 142 meters. But it's quite uphill.
9 meters uphill.
Heidi Laine on the tee. Is this what those players are looking to achieve from the tee?
That was exceptional. So you're throwing up and over these saplings to begin with, and you want to hug the right side or stay closer to the middle. You don't want it fading off left because you will, well, you don't want it too far right either. You'll have on the right side big trees to contend with, on the left more little birch saplings.
How about this one from Ella Hansen?
Excellent.
Stay, yeah. It's there, but Heidi Laine showed us the power she has on those discs. She's almost right there with Evelina Salonen and Henna Blomroos when it comes to power. And thank you, Flight Factory, for these beautiful drone footages. Head to flightfactorydiscs.com to check out their wide selection of disc golf products. Talk about the course where we like to see those drone shots over the course.
Oh, yeah, this is one where that's really an advantage. So beautiful. You're talking about Haiti's distance advantage, and that allows you to throw slower discs that also help to keep the angles more neutral.
Anniken Steen hitting the ridge and rolling down. Hansen, her second, on the green and stays there. Laine, just a putter option, looking at the basket. That was huge off the tee.
And what an advantage, because this fairway narrows as you get closer to the basket, so it just gets harder and harder to stay precise.
You can see here the first feature card has caught up with the second feature card. Just waiting then to finish up the hole, and Steen, bit of a trouble. Can she get upwards? No. Still on the edge of C1 at best. Now she's looking at the par with the sidearm upshot towards the basket, but most likely taking a bogey here after the roll. Let's see. Yeah. She knows not to mess with these baskets on these mounts. Going back to Silva Saarinen, with these kind of players in the card, with these wins on her back, should we say, what kind of emotions would Silva Saarinen be feeling there with those mates right now?
That is an impossible question to answer, because we never see any emotion out of Silva. I would hope that she can carry those wins through to this event with the bigger name and higher ranked players, and she can keep that confidence, because she is still a better putter statistically than everybody else playing, and she needs to remember that.
And those putting statistics, they don't go towards competing some other players on the field. They go competing against you and the basket, so that doesn't change whatever the field is.
Exactly.
We've heard words from all over the world that is every single win of Silva totally compatible. For example, Paige Pierce's a few years back. Oh, that's 6 years back already. Time flies. But the putting statistics they are there, and Silva has done amazing job with on the green inside C2, and it's going to be measured this weekend with these players. Can she stay calm and execute when it's mostly needed? Laine cashes the birdie on hole 7. Steen has to take the bogey. Hansen also great birdie. So bogeys for Turton and Steen, birdies for Hansen and Laine on hole 7. And the things are not getting any easier for them. They are headed towards hole 8, which is a par 5, the first par 5 of 4 par 5s on this property for the FPO. But now back to tee of 7 with Paige Pierce.
Beautiful left to right turning shot for Paige.
Tattar takes this a bit wider, but that doesn't bother her in the middle. Saarinen has been practicing her sidearm game in order to survive some of those toughest placements in the rough. But you won't see her throw a sidearm off the tee, and that is why. She has such a huge amount of control off the tee and from everywhere with the backhand. Lorentzen, more of a flex line. And she's up there. Let's take a look at this one. Flying over the hole 7, 466 feet, that equals 142 meters.
Significant uphill component to this shot. You do want to hug on to the right side on your drive so that you don't fall left into the trees and have an obstructed second shot. As you can see, the fairway gets narrower and narrower as you get closer to the basket. The drop off is about 3 meters from the pin.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yes. But it's down. First here. Yeah. Yellow.
Pierce, first to take her second shot. 7. Absolutely beautiful shot from Paige Pierce. Might want to keep that hat for the whole tournament, Paige. If that's the shot that the hat gives you, not to disregard her experience on the field and on those upshots, just beautiful. How about Tatar taking the slower disc with the sidearm? Oh dear, stay. And if we saw correctly, that volunteer there turning around,
Looking down below them.
might not be good for Tatar. Lorentzen. Needs to stay. See one's edge. Another look, long look for Lorentzen. Once again, Paige Pierce. Throwing standstill. Putter in her hand. Tells it to slow down. And it sure does. That's how you want to land.
Perfect speed control into that pin.
Saarinen, her second. Oh, and this is too much right. Does it survive? It does.
That's probably no problem at all for Silva. There's a small drop-off on the right-hand side. There's a drastic drop-off on the left-hand side.
Silva definitely didn't want to hit the ridge with any kind of angle on the left side, would you say?
Exactly.
These holes 7 and 8 that we are now playing are I would call them the biggest bottleneck on the course. They can be really slow to play if you find the troubles. At least number 8, that's really demanding hole. And the rough is horrible, as we see with Kristin Tatar. She can see the basket at least. That's a positive. What is she able to do from here? Oh no! It's the second available and she's still about 10 meters out, putting uphill for par.
Yeah, I felt better when she had the disc in her hand as a sidearm. I think Of course, that is then giving up the opportunity for the birdie, but I think she would have had a sharper line through those trees.
And now Tattar for par. Hits the band, almost saves it. Valiant effort.
Remarkable power going uphill with that putt.
Lorentzen for birdie. Oh, and she hits the cage with the worst possible outcome. If you hit the cage, I feel like there is no time for the disc to turn all the way down on its top, but rather to land sideways, and then those rolls might happen.
The fact that there's mulch underneath the basket at least gives it an opportunity to have a soft landing. But yeah, you never want to. If you're going to miss, you almost want to miss everything. Well, of course, if you have a hard putt, then that's not good either.
Still about C1's edge for Lorentzen. For par.
Oh my goodness, this just climbs over the basket.
Was she the one who got the front flip a couple of holes back?
Was that Anakin?
That might be Anakin, yeah. So, but Lorentzen gets her luck now at this hole, and she gets the par. And no problem for Silva. Gets the birdie. She's now 3 under, bogey free after 7 holes. And Paige Pierce, beautiful birdie for her. Tattar has to take another bogey. Wow. Let's look at this again from Lorentzen. Barely high enough. She stocks it in.
She had the nose of the disc out, which allowed it to kind of skip off that rim into the basket.
I'm down by 2 with 2 holes to go. Should I use my last 2 driving chips, or should I save them for the final tee shot?
Time delay, dude. That's a courtesy violation.
That's a stroke. You're down by 3 now, potty mouth.
What? OTB is very specific on how they list the disc because they want you to like the disc.
Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
Not just marketing.
It's only the best.
Mark your calendars for the European Disc Golf Festival, a disc golf pro tour event in Estonia at the historic Tallinn Song Festival grounds from July 24th to 28th. Watch top athletes like Kristen Tatar, Evelina Salonen, Simon Lizotte, and many others compete. Don't miss out. Visit discfestival.com for tickets and more information.
Welcome back, folks. Remember to explore our latest DGPT Out of Bounds discs by DGA. This exclusive collection introduces DGA's inaugural Granite Swirl series, showcasing the LI Granite Swirl Rift and Granite Swirl Squall, available only at the DGPT Pro Shop. Use the QR code on your screen to visit that. Heidi Line, T of 8 and a total miss from her. Barely made the mandatory, I believe. Of course, we have that new rule that if you, not kind of new for this season, but in a couple of years, as we see Hansen throwing too much to the right. Landing in safe though. Yeah, you can't cross the mandatory line in any case, even if you have already made the mandatory.
Which is fairly unintuitive. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too often.
Sten might have stayed on the fairway. Talk about a hole where you can't lose your focus on any single second on the way.
Yeah.
This is now Hansen throwing 2.
You have a false sense of security because you're throwing from an open area, but then you're throwing to this tunnel. And not only do you want to be in the middle of the tunnel, but the land slopes in the tree line. So in the right tree line, the land slopes up drastically, and the left tree line, it slopes down drastically. Neither is good.
Anniken Sten is on the grassy fairway. Line, great pitch out from her, and she has the distance to go towards the green here, and she's made a full flex.
Wow. That is remarkably good.
Amazing from Heidi Line, just amazing.
Okay, so here we're looking at this hole, and so you're throwing from this open to this pinch point, this tunnel, and there's a mandatory on the left-hand side, which of course forces you to go down the middle. You want to penetrate as far forward as you can so that you, ideally on your second shot, can clear this out-of-bounds area. I hadn't even thought of potentially getting to the green like we just saw Heidi do, but she had the power and she was close enough to the middle that she was able to fly far enough forward and let it fade left towards this green, which is very protected and also on a pretty severe slope.
Hansen in big time trouble, and this is another trouble, although there might be some gaps for her to approach the basket from there, but the putting is really difficult.
It looked like she was falling in too soon and then kicked out. So I'm not sure she's actually in the tree line.
Sten, slow, skippy shot. Rolls to the left side. She has those branches and trees to miss if she wants to challenge the basket, which is, again, on a slope, of course, because we needed that for the difficulty. This was such an easy hold.
Well, there's a theme.
Yeah, there's certainly a theme. I'm still wondering about that shot from Heidi. She was, I believe, halfway through the gap with that pitch out, and then just a full drive.
Ella not far enough in the trees to take one of those routes to the basket. She's forced to go out to the right-hand side.
This is now her 4th already. There is that beautiful grass to roll on. If this gets in on time. We couldn't quite catch where she ended up. Pierce now on the tee. Can this get a kiss towards the left?
Oh, that is so good. Looks like a very neutral disc. Able to throw that very flat, and it stayed right on its line.
Saarinen next up on the tee. Bit to the right. Catches something and fades towards the left, but that stone, big stone, maybe even piece of bedrock, saves her from the downhill. Lorentzen.
Turned that over a little much. I was thinking that it would have been an overstable disc by the way she put a turnover on that, but it didn't have time to come back if it was.
And Tattar pierces the gap, wants a subtle fade. Kick to the left.
Just a bullet down the fairway. Will easily have enough power and is in a good enough position to go over the out of bounds area and try to attack the green on second shot.
Oh, I do have that same disc. You should do it. I know you're so confident with your side arm.
Seems like Silverlat is
I will try it.
chucking that caddy west on Kristin Tattar's back, and he's gonna leave her to her round, and he has his own round to start in a few moments. Anniken Steen, not a great look for the birdie. I just want to toss this up under the basket. Yeah, that's what she does. Laine, amazing opportunity to putt for the birdie, but she opts to save the par.
I don't blame that choice at all. This is significantly downhill. A miss would potentially result in three putt.
Laine is your tight lead with Paige Pierce, and this moment she has gone 4 down through last 5 holes. Turton now putting for par. Just outside the circle. Hits the center pole, which has the padding, and that's what stops her.
It's a brave shot by Rachel.
How about Lykke? She has to make this patent pending shot. She doesn't have a driver in her hand.
Just trying to lay up to the grass area.
And she didn't make it good.
I think she's in a worse spot than she was right there. She's farther into the trees.
And that's just kind of what I was talking about a few minutes ago. If you feel like, oh yeah, I made it to the tunnel, I'm fine, I'm just gonna approach, you can't lose a promille of your focus. Saarinen actually has a run-up. I was thinking that she might not have one, but she does. But she's not the furthest thrower on the field.
She throws far enough. You're right, she's not as far as Ella or Haiti, but she's got plenty of distance. I think that she could potentially try to go over the OB here if she wanted to.
Going with a turnover, landing to the right side with her second shot.
Very nice.
The out of bounds area is, from these angles that we can see, it's surprisingly close to the gap through which they go with the first drive. Paige Pierce aiming for her second. She has the power to go towards the gap.
She's close enough that she could get to the pin, but she's got to shape something. She's got to first turn it from left to right and have something overstable enough that it's going to come back towards the pin if she is actually trying to get to the green.
Is that a mid-range on her hand, though?
Hard to tell.
Might be a fairway driver. This is looking fine. Doesn't want the fade. Yeah. That's a picturesque play for the birdie. Tatar straight in the middle, and she's taking the sidearm to avoid the rough on the left. Looking fine to me.
Yes, she's in a great position. She should be able to see the opening to the pin, which of course makes it a lot easier to judge the distance that you need.
Sten and Laine taking the pars from this hole 8. And Turton and Hansen have to take the bogey 6. Lorentzen not in a good spot, as you called it, Juliana, just a moment ago.
Very tricky footing. Yeah, she's just going to lay up short side of the out of bounds.
Just a putter layup. And she's now close to the first edge of out of bounds with 3. She's got all the possibilities to go for the par from there, correct?
She has enough course knowledge here that I would guess that she's got a good sense of the speed and distance that's required to have it fall down into the green nicely.
What's the best play here? Does she want a skip just before the gap towards the basket?
I think either would be fine. I would not play the skip in this particular one. I would fly it like she just did there.
That's the reason why. And you, of course, Juliana, have some knowledge of the course, for you were able to play this, I believe, a couple of times earlier this week.
I got one round in on it. The weather kept me from a second round, but what an enjoyable experience it was.
You're looking at tee number 9. This is an uphill par 3, 85 meters, plays like 100, as we hear from the players. Laine and Sten both hitting some branches on the right side and don't quite get the distance. Laine see one's edge, and Hansen slips this one out too early, but she gets lucky. And then she rolls down to the right. There's no look for the basket from there, I assume.
There's at least one window, because I found myself on the right-hand side and I was able to find one gap through those trees. Hopefully she'll be lined up similarly.
We hope that, but Rachel Turton showing us the best drive so far. She's about 5 meters away from the basket. And Saarinen now throwing 3. Pierces the gap. Does it stay? Yeah, she's on silver range. Yeah, that's a tap in for her. Yeah, not calling that, but she's looking at the basket for birdie. And on this hole number 8, we have one birdie today, and that is from Anneli Togias-Männistö. So the Estonian got the birdie for just from about 6 meters. So great 3 shots before that pop. Pierce hits something, but she's fine.
She has an opportunity. It's a little bit of a dangerous downhill putt.
Tatar also hits a tree. She's about 8 meters away. Shouldn't be a problem.
Tried to float that one around the corner. Don't often see her throw such a floaty sidearm. Usually they're penetrating.
And Hansen, you can see the basket there on the left, but she has to go with high putter anhyzer.
And she does it exceptionally well.
One of the easiest shots of the sport, right? That one. Bad footing, high anhyzer with the putter. Sten does this upshot great. Looking at the par. And Tatar trying to collect another birdie after that bogey. 7.
Beautifully done.
Count that in for Kristin Tatar. Gets her 4th birdie, but of course she already has 2 bogeys, so that's going to be 2 under par for the round for Estonian.
No fear putting downhill.
Pierce didn't like it out of the hand, and it settles.
I think that rock right in front of her made her release point a little bit higher than she normally does and changed the trajectory of the putt.
Luckily lands flat again. She's looking at the par. And Saarinen now putting for birdie, about 8.5 meters uphill. She's here. She's with us.
And she doesn't even take any time on her putts, even when there's another component like this uphill.
And why should you? There's the basket, I have the disc. Just pure execution from Silva Saarinen.
I love how flat the disc is when she releases it.
And something that I have rarely seen from Finnish disc golfers on the green, she has that control over the speed of the putter. Usually we see those Finns putting with really strong spin putts towards the basket, and I feel like they hope that, yeah, the basket should catch if I hit the chains, but that's not always the correct way to approach for what I feel like.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, she does have the luxury of the confidence of knowing that she's most likely going to put it in the chains, but you're right. She's very good at that, and that would not have gone very far past had she not hit it.
Line is settling in the bullseye for par. Big uphill putt from her, circle's edge. Rachel Turton. You can stand. Grabs the par. Here's Heidi Laine taking the par. Laine takes the par, bullseye's edge. And let's look at some Juliana's keys, brought to you by blackinkdiscs.com.
Number 1, edge control. Having the appropriate landing angle on inclines and declines so your discs stay where you intend. Speed into the green. There is danger around almost every green out here. Having good speed control to land near the basket will save strokes. and keep your balance. There are numerous uphill and downhill lies which could throw off your timing in your run-up. Either keep your steps small to maintain your rhythm, or shorten your steps, or even just stand still like we've seen Silva do. Keep your timing the same to maintain your accuracy.
Take note of these keys, folks. Multiple-time world champion Juliana Korver here with me, Esa-Pekka Tupala, in the booth for Krokhol Open. Silva Saarinen on the tee of 9 and hits the trees, goes to the left. She's not clear yet. Trying to save the par now. And Tatar, yeah, she goes with the backhand. I was looking at that, is she going with the sidearm? But no, this is a beautiful turn. Gets a skip towards those spruces there on the right. Pierce next on the tee. Gets through most of the trees, but hits something. And Lorenzen now has a chance to steal one stroke off the card with a great drive. That's turning to the right. It's a kick to the left, but C2's edge uphill. That's a tough putt to make.
This hole is deceivingly difficult. You're throwing out a gap, up a hill, through a gate of trees, and then up another hill to a raised basket.
We're now on hole 10 with Rachel Turton, showing us how it's done, people. 105 meters downhill, and she's there in the bullseye. Back to 9, and Saarinen actually got through. Looking at the basket straight away.
That's all she needed.
And Lorenzen releasing this one to the left. And that's still C1's edge and behind one of those trees there.
That was just a miscue. She did not release when or how she wanted to on that one.
And Laine.
With a putter. Beautiful.
Almost in the bullseye for Laine, also on hole 10. Paige Pierce now up next. That's in the bullseye. I'm gonna call Terry Miller on the field at Krokhol on the course. How is the mood there now between these two cars? They are really fairly close to each other, and some backups there, and we can maybe see some hesitation from the players. How is the mood there on the course?
I was just thinking as they were approaching here on 9 that because of the tunnel that's created, the gallery that is formed is extra loud. It's as if there's an echo that carries down the tunnel. So we're seeing these great approaches. So the gallery is into it. And what I love seeing is there's gallery everywhere. It's not just on this card, but they're following players on cards throughout the entire FPO division. Lots of love being spread around out here. And we're just treated to an incredible show today.
Thank you, Terry Miller on the course at Krokhol. Tatar laying that up. That's going to be a par for her. We have not been used to see this kind of a gallery in Friday morning with the FPO players, and they are all over the place. Lorenzen tries to save the par. Just slightly too low. Saarinen, this is now for par. Certainly in. Lorentzen has to take bogey. Tattar now putting for par from the bullseye. In. Pierce also tapping in the par. We're on the green of 10, and we have 3 birdie looks almost in the bullseye. Hansen there grabs hers. Lana will be next. Chasing her 5th birdie for today. She's in the basket, bogey free, 5 down, Heidi Laine. At this moment, your solo leader. Rachel Turton also trying to catch her 5th birdie of the day. She does it, but also 3 bogeys already on her card, so she's 2 under for the round, and Steen settling in for the par. This is her 3rd par in a row. She wants to get the train running again if she wants to catch the leaders after the day. What an eventful opening 9 for the FPO at Krokhol Open 2024, brought to you by Latitude 64. And actually Anneli Togias managed it just now, climbing there with Heidi Laine tied for the 1st place through 14 holes, -5. How do you feel about that?
Remarkable scores. I'm very impressed with the entire division, playing so many people under par this far through a very difficult course.
Talk about simple and easy. Par 3, 105 meters, 344 feet downhill, out of bounds everywhere. Yeah, what are we looking at?
Okay, it's 12 meters of elevation loss, which is 40 feet downhill, and it just feels like you just want to throw everything you've got at this because it's just such a fun shot. But the danger lies in the fact that the OB behind the basket is so close, and it is very easy to go long. You really need to throw something very, very slow on this, and I recommend a putter.
Saarinen taking a note from Juliana, and this is a putter. Is this turning too much? It's safe. Barely avoids the out of bounds slope. Tattar next on the tee takes the sidearm. Really interesting.
Well, she's so proficient with the sidearm.
And that branch just might have saved her if she's in bounds. That was headed towards the right.
It felt like it to me, yes.
Pierce on the tee. Clipping some branches on the left. Avoiding the danger though.
On the green, though not nearly as close as she would like.
Lorentzen. Clip something on the right. Does it fade? Just skips inbounds. She's on the green. Not yet bullseye hits for this first feature card. Rachel Turton on the tee of 11. Another par 3, slight uphill, 87 meters, and Rachel Turton landing on the green. Just a slight slide towards long of the pin. And now Laine, something more stable.
Oh, unfortunate skip. There's a little bit of a ridge that goes up towards the green that Heidi hit, and it kicked her off to the right-hand side.
Hansen taking this right and doesn't quite get the skip towards the green. Tattar is here Yeah, this is 3, so she was out of bounds off the tee. That's really unfortunate. Now she's in the bullseye for another bogey. Sten forcing this one over. It doesn't quite come back, and she's C1's edge looking at the par. So let's talk about Kristin just a bit. She's looking solid. She's playing fine. She already has 4 birdies, but she's looking at another bogey. So might she be a bit of hesitant about the comeback in the first feature card? Does she feel some pressure, or is this something just kind of those?
I think this course is just that hard.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know what she's thinking, but I don't see a hesitation. I don't see nerves. I think those are just some small execution errors.
Pierce for birdie. Ever so slightly left. Doesn't quite catch. Parked for par, though. Lorentzen. For the birdie. Just a bit low. In the center, but not in. Another chance for Saarinen, who is known for these 8-meter putts. For the birdie. These feel like 3-meter putts for her. It's amazing.
So precise, not only on the right and left, but also on the height of the putt. Getting it up into the heart of the chains.
And because of her ability to control the speed, it doesn't matter if she's ever so slightly right or left. But the speed is the perfect for the chains to catch and slow the disc down enough in order for it to settle down in the cage.
Exactly.
So Saarinen takes the birdie on hole 10, and that is the only birdie for the group, and that takes her to tied first place with 5 birdies for the past 10 holes. Anniken Sten actually catches the birdie there. My mistake, that was her shot from the tee, and she was able to catch the birdie on hole 11. Hansen laid up for par. How about Laine for birdie? Just a bit low, and she's gonna take a par. Staying on the top though. And Turton, this is for birdie to go 3 down through 11 holes, and 3 down for the last 3 holes. She makes it happen. So 2 bogeys from hole 7 and 8, and then 3 straight birdies for Turton. The Brit is certainly charging up. Let's fly over this hole number 11 now. Par 3, 87 meters, 285 in feet. Playing on the tougher side, for the danger is there.
You're playing out of a gap. The basket is straight ahead, slightly uphill. The fairway is lined with trees both right and left. Right side is really bad. Left side is almost just as bad.
Disc golf season is in full swing. Here are your upcoming Disc Golf Network events. Don't miss a moment, people. Subscribe today. Disc Golf Network, European Open, European Disc Golf Festival, Discraft Ledgestone Open, LVS Open, Well, such a huge and beautiful stretch of big events coming up. And remember folks, for the disc golf season is in full swing. Great bunch of events coming up. Silva Saarinen now T11. Needs to get stable. Kinda does. Might be able to stay away from the right side. Paige Pierce up next.
Pick left, please.
Mr. Line completely there, threw it into the trees on the right-hand side.
Lorentzen. This is beautiful. Does it carry? It does. C1's edge for the Norwegian. Tattar. Also going to the right. It fades though and avoids the trees, and she's under the basket for birdie.
Picture perfect.
Just when we thought that Tattar is in the slightest troubles, she's not. She executes perfectly and taps in the birdie from hole 11. Still have a couple of players on the field with clean scorecard. And those players are Silva Saarinen, Heidi Laine, tied for the first place, and Paige Pierce, tied for fourth with 4 down. 4 birdies for the first 7 holes, but then 3 pars in a row for Paige. And most likely looking at another one if this gets to the green, but that's gonna be a layup for the fairway. Or C2's edge at best.
Yeah, it looks like it was tricky just to get out to the fairway from where she was positioned.
Now this is Pierce for her third. That's left. Settles in for the bogey. And that's just what we have been discussing about. Every single hole here at Krokhol Disc Golf Course can separate players with multiple strokes.
Exactly. Her missed line there, putting her off into the right with all of those small saplings, just made it impossible for her to progress towards the green on her second shot.
This is now Saarinen, her second, way downhill. And she was going for that. Just a casual snip off of the wrist and she already went past.
She gets so much power without looking like she's putting much into it.
Lorentzen hitting the top band twice. She's kinda on it, she's on the line, but a bit low, a bit high.
Exactly, she was a bit low on the last one, overcorrects on this one.
Saarinen for the par. That's in. And that's going to be a big advantage for Kristin Tattar on this hole 11. She's going to have the only birdie from under the basket. She's going to be the last one to tap in. Here she goes. gets the applause from the crowd. Moving on to hole number 12, another long hole, par 5, 267 meters for the FPO. Beautiful fairway here.
Absolutely. You asked earlier what my favorite hole was, and this was the hole I was trying to come up with.
This property was originally a ball golf course, but I'm just gonna wonder out loud, how do you play ball golf on this kind of property? The slopes are everywhere.
Well, maybe that's why it's a former ball golf course, because it was just too demanding for that particular sport.
That tee shot didn't seem to be too demanding for Heidi Line. She's in the middle. Hansen also huge power on her drives. Can she get this to fade? Yes, she can. Great shot from Hansen.
Uplay Disc Golf is your passport to teaching and learning the game. Our mission? To teach disc golf and make it accessible to everyone worldwide. From Alaska to Africa, Guatemala to Canada, and beyond, Uplay Disc Golf has spread its wings teaching the love of the game across the globe. Get involved in our movement to make disc golf a universal joy. Explore uplaydiscgolf.org and join us in helping people find flight.
Nexus Firefly, one of my Tour Series, KC Pro Glow Rock, unbeatable team of the Toro and the Rat. The fairway driver that rules them all, the Sexton Firebirds, Calvin Halo Destroyer. Hi, I'm Innova Team Captain Nate Sexton, and this is my 2024 in the bag.
So you want to throw further. Okay, here's the plan. Step 1, join the Power Disc Golf Academy. Step 2, watch Holland Hanley's lessons on how to properly select discs that are appropriate for your skill level. Step 3, watch Paul Uliberry's X-Step lessons to help you build a solid foundation for generating power. Step 4, watch Simon Lazat's lessons on upper body mechanics to make sure you're giving the disc the best opportunity for distance. Step 5, watch Ezra Aderhold's max distance lessons to build your most powerful swing. Step 6, use our fieldwork drills to dial it all in. And the last step, go out and crush your personal best distance record. Ready? Go.
From top competition to the new players. From supporting women to funding new courses. PDGA Europe is much more than competition. Visit pdga.com/join and grow the sport.
Welcome back at Krokhol Open, and Anniken Steen is in a big trouble on hole 12. Just a pitch out from the darkness. The weather today is beautiful. Sun is shining, seems a bit calm. We're gonna hear soon from Terry Miller, who's on the course, about the wind conditions. But first, Juliana, you played this course a few days back. What were the conditions then?
It was in the afternoon, so it was a little bit windy, as the wind tends to pick up throughout the day. So that definitely made some of these tunnel shots more difficult. But the sun was shining, birds were singing. It was still beautiful.
They had some tough conditions few days back on those practice rounds, they had rainy conditions and rainy weather. Terry, how does the wind feel now on the course?
Yeah, we are very blessed that there's almost no wind out here whatsoever. If it is, it comes in very briefly, but it doesn't seem to be affecting shots too much as we're out here on the beautiful hole 12. And just as Juliana just mentioned, you hear the birds chirping and everybody's having a good time.
Thank you, Terry. Straight from Krokhol. A slide back up again on this par 5. And if you remember from last year, the holes are pretty much the same. But for me, at least, it feels like they have done amazing amount of work here on these fairways and greens. It seems so picturesque.
There wasn't, I felt like there wasn't a brown blade of grass anywhere on site. Everything seemed pristine and beautiful.
We might be expecting some rain come later this tournament. At least last night when I checked the conditions, it said that there might be some heavy rainy spots in early Sunday. So the players could get sun shining today, Friday, and then kind of cloudy tomorrow, Saturday, and then might get some rain on Sunday. And that challenges the players even more to play this kind of a track in different conditions. Anniken Steen actually found out of bounds with her third. Seems like she's now C2's edge with 5. Here's Laine. Second shot going straight at it. Is she? No way. She's in the circle for eagle.
Showcasing her great ability to throw far once again.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Hansen is C2's edge, or C2, putting for eagle. Laine picking up the pace and the stakes here. Fast driver skipping ever so slightly to the left, but that's certainly runnable.
Absolutely. So you see this tall grass section in the middle. There's actually water there. It's a fairly good sized pond. It's bigger than it looks from this angle. So players obviously need to clear that to stay safe.
Here's Turton now throwing 3. This is overturned to the right. She's on the line there. I'm talking about the invisible line between the fairway and the rough. There is no out of bounds, luckily, there. Let's think this through. If Laine takes the eagle, she would be the solo first place holder with 2 strokes. That is if Hansen would take the par here. Yeah, Hansen is actually on the tied 6th place at the moment. Silva Saarinen is 1 hole back. And Silva, I feel like she doesn't quite have the distance to go for the eagle on this hole.
I don't, well, it would take perfect shots for the eagle. I think birdie is certainly in play for Silva.
Certainly, yeah. But Heidi could take 2 strokes lead, 7 down through 12 holes with an eagle. Left to be seen, left to be seen. We still have a bunch of golf to see before that putt comes onto your screen. And I believe the first feature card is soon ready to tee off on hole 12. The second feature card has passed the pond. And this actually stands 6th already, and that's under the basket. That's going to be a 7 double bogey for Anniken Christiansen Steen. Tattar on the tee. Powerful drive. Not quite getting the maximum distance though.
She should be fine, though, to still clear the OB on her second shot.
Saarinen up next. Takes this one low. And gets the forward skip. Solid tee shot. Lorentzen. Oh no. Forces this one over and it makes me lose my my mind for a bit.
I originally thought that that was a mistake, but it came back nicely, so that may very well have been her play to throw overstable out to the right and have it come back towards the middle.
Pierce up next. Also checking this one to the right with the slight flip. Does it fade?
Didn't have enough time to come back. The question is it over the out of bounds line or not? She might be shy of the out of bounds line, so she may be safe, but absolutely not in a great position.
Here's Laine for the eagle. She's in! Heidi Laine cards the eagle on hole 12. She's 7 down, bogey free. Let's roll back that Zuka replay for Heidi Laine. Absolutely disgusting.
What a fantastic scorecard so far. There's so much danger out in this course.
Yeah, she's enjoying her time here and she should. How do you feel about the front nine versus the back nine? Where are the biggest problems or troubles for these players? Do you have an opinion on that?
Well, there are treacherous greens throughout, so there's no advantage front or back. But the back brings more water into play, and like 15 and 16 have some water carries. 17 island green, 18 has more out of bounds. There's a lot going on. I think it's a little bit more challenging holes to think about on the back nine.
Here's Pierce with her second, so she was not out of bounds. Yeah, we have more bogeys certainly in the back nine.
The back nine is definitely longer than the front nine. Significantly so. I think 300 meters maybe.
I'm really eager to see how these feature card players can challenge the back nine. Here on 12 we still have quite a bunch of birdies, but after that the birdies become more of a rarity. Lorentzen on the left side. She's looking at the birdies still. She needs a big upshot.
I think there's still some birdies on the back. It's just that you have to be very aggressive in order to go for them.
Tattar. High hyzer to the left, not going for the eagle at all, which I believe was wise. Do you feel like the eagle comes in play if you get the perfect flex shot off the tee?
I don't have enough distance to think about the eagle on this shot. As I was playing it, no, I absolutely did not come to mind about the eagle. I was just happy to get over the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Another we saw Silva Saarinen was far down the fairway and she had the perfect look, and she's still about 55 meters short of the basket after 2 shots. So Laine had some remarkable distance off the tee and with her upshot.
And the trees get closer once you get close to the pin as well. Right over the pond, it's kind of a wide landing zone, and then it narrows down. So not only do you have to have very good distance, you have to be more precise.
As we see Paige Pierce lining up her upshot, is there a course in the States where we could compare the roughs from this course to that course in the States?
Perhaps, but I couldn't tell you where it is. The rough here is extreme, and almost every single, I mean, as you look at it here, you think, oh yes, there are a lot of trees, that's bad. But not only are there a lot of trees, it's either drastically uphill or drastically downhill on most of these tree-lined fairways.
So maybe we should even visit some mountain courses that we actually don't see on the Pro Tour.
I wish we played more mountain golf. I really enjoy mountain golf, watching it and playing it.
That might also be for the players and the spectators to give some feedback on what kind of courses would you like to see, and take note on that. Lorentzen up next with her third. The green looks again pretty simple to approach from this angle.
It looks simple.
Look actually on the left side a bit, and she takes the forehand upshot. Needs to settle in.
Not sure if that's obstructed enough, but clearly it's going to be an uphill putt. There are many, many, many small saplings on the right-hand side. If you get into that tree line, it's kind of a mess. The left side, there are bigger trees and a little bit farther apart.
Tatar with her third. I think this high and right, and the stability of the disc kicks in too early.
Sort of similar to the line that we saw Lucky throw right there. Not what either of them had drawn up.
Saarinen, her third, needs to glide. Kinda gets there. Yeah, see one's edge. I'm taking a note how quiet it is there, although we have those spectators there. They're all so quiet and following along with professionalism. Where do they need those quiet signs? I'm not quite sure. Paige Pierce with her fourth. Approaching the bullseye. About 5-6 meters left. Let's bounce it back to Terry on the course. How do you feel the vibe is with the spectators there, and how is this comparing to some other Pro Tour stops that we are seeing? It seems so quiet and professional there on the course, Terry.
That's certainly a great way to word it, is that everyone is very conscientious. They're staying in place. They don't have to be told where to go or where to stop. It just seems like everyone is treating the players with such incredible respect, and I love seeing it. They certainly cheer loudly when they see a good shot, but when the players are getting ready to throw, they are dead silent, and I love to see that.
Thanks, Terry. And Kristin Tatar not quite able to get the height on the disc. She's now putting for par. Next up, Lykke Lorentzen for the birdie for about 12 meters away. And Another familiar too low of putt from Lykke.
Too low, too high, too low. It's got to be very frustrating.
She had a great start, 2 birdies in first 4 holes, and then after that just 2 bogeys and 5 pars. Here is now Silva Saarinen, a great spot for her to get another stroke. And count that. That's birdie, that's 6 down, bogey free after 12 holes. Almost identical to Heidi Laine.
Both of which are still bogey-free for the round.
Pierce takes the par. So Heidi and Silva both took birdies on 4, 7, 10, and 12. Of course, Heidi took the eagle on 12. But then Silva took birdies on hole 8 and 2, where Heidi took birdies on 3 and 6. So some subtle separation there. We're on tee of 13, this par 3, 96 meters, plays uphill, and Heidi Laine turns this a bit over, challenging the out of bounds on the right.
No. So the out of bounds here is the water line. So it's actually safe. I mean, there is out of bounds on the right if you go way, way, way right.
That's a great correction there. And Ella Hansen.
That was never going to work. That was complete miscue. So where Heidi ended up, that's actually the safe play. And the hope is that you don't cut roll back into the water.
And what's Rachel?
Green flag, green flag.
Okay. We're playing here, we're playing.
This hole is gorgeous, but it is so hard.
Then gets a green flag too.
This sport is about trust. It's about confidence in your disc. All the untold hours of development and commitment are here for you. The MVP Pro Shop. Start your journey today.
Ella Hansen throwing 3 on hole 13. This needs to hurry. Stay in bounds. Oh, no. Out of bounds everywhere behind this basket. And she gets a green flag.
And one thing that's different about the out of bounds behind this basket is there's no grass to catch the disc either.
And
so that's a smart play.
Yeah. And Laine has totally permission to do that after 7 down through 12 holes. She just didn't want anything to do with this green. Hansen now for bogey. Doesn't get it. Steen for birdie. Oh, and that hits the cage. Settles down though. Saarinen on the tee of 13.
You want a subtle turnover if you're throwing a backhand shot. If it's a drastic turnover, it's most likely going to cut roll back into the water.
Tatar takes the risky play over the pond with the sidearm.
I actually like this play a lot, fading it into the side of the hill. I think this seems like the safer option if you have that sidearm.
Lorentzen, even par for the day.
This tee is in such an interesting little alcove. If you turn around and look the opposite direction from the tee, there is a giant rock wall behind you.
Pierce hits the wall and she's in the pond. Wonder why that wall is there. To make those sad things happen, folks.
It is possible to throw up over that wall if you want to be extraordinarily safe off to the right.
Line is on 14. Gets it to the C1's edge. She's on fire.
Taking the tighter line on the right-hand side. Very well done.
And Paige Pierce is ready to approach with her third, but let's hear from Terry. I believe Heidi Laine hasn't been playing here a lot, and she's there in the lead. Terry, what do you have for us?
Well, it was on this very hole yesterday that I caught up with Heidi Laine playing her practice round, and she actually threw 4 or 5 shots because she was so difficult on this hole. But she said to me that she had never played here before, so it's kind of surprising that yesterday was her first ever round on the course. Today it looks like she's made all the correct adjustments, and she's out as a front runner right now.
Thank you, Terry. And this is now Pierce. She goes through.
Very fortunate right there. That could have easily changed the direction of the flight of the disc by hitting that tree and going back out of bounds.
Through everything on 13, and here is Rachel Turton on 14. Takes the sidearm ever so slightly too long, so she hits the branches and gets some breaks, but she's just outside C1. Putting for birdie. Another picturesque hole. Here is Anniken Steen showing us how you shoot 106 meters over water and up and down. She's under the cage.
Perfect.
Hansen also with the sidearm. This is too wide, I feel. Yeah, gets the breaks. So the Northern Europeans at this moment are practically wiping the course clean. They're really showing us their skills now. Lorentzen, is this to settle? It does.
This is an approach shot that you want to be right next to the basket because, as we've seen before, very, very treacherous green behind. It drops off to the water. And it's also there's no grass on the land. You can see right here, there's no grass on the land behind the basket. So it's almost impossible to stop if you go long right there.
Don't land on the edge with your disc. It is Saarinen, that's actually her third, and she's almost going for it. Settles in, and that's gonna be a blemish on Saarinen's scorecard. She's gonna take her first bogey on hole 13, drop down to 5 down for the round. It doesn't feel like dropping down though. She's gonna be holding the second place still. And Pierce a bit low.
Not too surprising because of the fear of the danger that looms behind it. So that's sometimes the mind says yes and the body says no on shots like that.
Lorentzen. Yeah, maybe the fear caught up a little with by the fears. But she's putting for double bogey now. That's in, and that's 1 under par for the round for Paige Pierce. 3 over par for the last 3 holes, and that's not the best pace to move with, considering that Saarinen on her card is 5 down for the round after this, and Heidi Laine is putting for birdie on hole 14 from C1's edge. Laine, who's really been upping her putting game for the past 2 seasons, here she is. Just a bit high right, no, don't roll for her. That's rolling down and that's rolling into the water. Or am I correct there?
Well, there is water if you go down far enough. I couldn't tell if I think she's not going to be in the water, but it is possible.
For what I can see, she's putting for par from C2, so further away than she just was. Let's take a look at this hole 14. It's a par 3, 106 over the water. One of the most beautiful shots from the tee on this course.
It really is gorgeous. There is a left to right shot, and there is a smaller gap on the right-hand side that we saw Heidi take just right of those 2 trees. If you do find the out of bounds from the tee, then you go to the drop zone, which is framed by those 2 trees, and you still have to fly the water.
But that might be... How about it, Heidi? Yeah, that's gonna be the end for the bogey-free round for Laine. Hansen for double bogey. Has to settle for the 5 after the birdie on hole 12. Sorry, after the...
It was the previous hole that Ella had the double bogey, so that was true. That was for par.
Yeah, that is a good correction there. Turton for par. A bit high left, but that's in for the bridge. Laine settles for the bogey. And Steen picks up the birdie from the bullseye. So that leaves us nobody in the FPO field to go bogey free. I have to say, I think we weren't expecting that even to happen.
Oh yeah, I would have been very surprised. I was already surprised by the fact that just a few holes ago we still had 3 people with clean scorecards.
So even though Silva takes the bogey on 13, Heidi doesn't run away. Laine also takes the bogey on 14, so still 1 stroke separating them. Then 2 strokes after them are Anniken Christiansen, Sten and Rachel Turton, tied for 3rd. Then tied 5th place Kristin Tattar, Matilda Ringboom, Anneli Togias-Männiste. So we have the situation that tied 8th is the first American player of the tournament in the FPO. This is Tattar fading heavily to the right. Might be safe though. It seems so. Europeans are charging here at Krokhol Open 2024, the opening day. Lorentzen on the tee of 14. Heading to the left, hits the rocks and rolls down towards the basket.
She'll have a birdie opportunity there.
Saarinen. These turnovers are her thing, but this is released low and left. Is that another layup for Saarinen?
It didn't look like a sharp-edged disc. It looked like it was a mid-range.
Pierce on the tee. She's on the green. What are the pros and cons on this tee shot going for the pin exact? Or do you want to be on C1's edge? How do you feel for these players?
I think that everybody playing on these two cards has the power to go for the green in one. I think some of the other players need to just worry only about finding safety. This green does have a drop-off on the right-hand side, so there is danger. We saw Haiti down there, but it is a little bit more generous than probably most of the greens out there.
Thanks again, Flight Factory Discs, for providing these drone footages. Remember to visit flightfactorydiscs.com to check out their apparel and disc golf stuff at the interwebs. Silva Saarinen challenging Heidi Laine on the top at this moment.
Not here. Maybe a little bit left to right up there, a little head. Maybe. Or something. It's pretty soft though right now. Yeah.
Laine still waiting for her turn at the hole 15, which is another par 5. We're back on 14 though. This is now Saarinen for her second. She's a long way off the basket. Outside C2. And now she's under the bucket. Wise play from Saarinen. Tatar up next. For the birdie. Almost halfway C2. So close. No, don't roll. Don't roll. And that's Krokhol for you folks. Almost getting down the hill. I believe she settles. C1's edge.
It's going to be another challenging uphill putt for her.
Pierce now for birdie. Gets it done. Paige Pierce ends the bogeys with a birdie, so now she's back 2 under par. Great putt from Paige. Really struggling on the back nine, sorry.
Confident long putt, and she's going towards that decline, so really well done.
Tatar trying to find a footing for the par.
Even more drastically uphill than the previous putt.
Hits the flagpole, I believe, or then the cage. Nevertheless, she's in the bullseye.
Lorenzen for birdie.
Tatar putting for bogey. And Saarinen taps in the important par. Back with the second feature card on hole 15, par 5, 231 meters.
Oh, we'll get up there.
So from the last year's layout, we skipped there's the 13 that we had last year, and now we have a brand new hole 18. So this is practically the hole 14 from last year, or actually 16, I believe, from last year. But now the out of bounds has been brought inwards from the rocks.
Ella flirting with the right side out of bounds.
She's getting a red flag. Line on the tee. She has the air under the disc, so it fades. The middle.
Help! I'm so weak.
Hey. Leave that poor boy alone.
And who are you supposed to be, punk?
I'm you, man. Huh?
If you want to know what a disc is going to feel like before you get it, you have to check out OTB disc. The first thing I'm looking for when I grab a new disc is the feel of the disc. It's got to be confidence instilled. Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
It's really, really helpful in not only finding a disc that looks beautiful, but is also exactly what you're looking for it to feel like. Of course, when you're dealing with OTB, you're going to get only the best.
Jonathan. Wow!
Lullaban. Skulle du visa?
Hi. Yeah, check this pad out.
I think you should use your wrist a little bit more.
Why not?
Is he okay?
Nah, he's fine.
Welcome back to Krokhol. We are flying over high above this hole 15, par 5, 758 feet, 231 meters. What are we looking at, Juliana?
The fairway slopes up slightly with a left to right downward tilt as well. There is a tall rock wall just behind the out of bounds line on the left. The entire hole is lined by out of bounds. Once again, the basket is positioned in such a way that it is quite dangerous. You can see that it could potentially roll away on the left-hand side.
On the fairway, and Sten throwing too low enough so the disc doesn't turn to out of bounds. She's in the middle. Hansen found the out of bounds from the tee, and she's now throwing 3. Solid forehand shot just over the mount there.
Yeah, you really want to be at least on top of the mound with your second shot so that you can see the basket.
Turton fading. No, don't do that. I might just be out. And did I see correctly, was Heidi Laine marking her lie just behind the fence in the middle?
That's what I saw, yes.
Now that's a bummer.
I'm just not trying to push them because it's like, we're going to wait.
Yeah. Really difficult shot going towards out of bounds right. It seems to be out. Then difficult third shot here. Looking beautiful though. 26 meters left for the pin, and that's not runnable.
I certainly wouldn't run that or recommend others.
Hansen now throwing 4. Oh, and this is wide left.
As we've seen at least 2 or 3 times now, her sidearm has been offline to the left.
She gets the rare green flag down the hill though, and Laine now throwing 4. And this is also a bit overturned. Can it flex though? No. Yeah, that's it. And Heidi Laine is now putting C2 for a bogey uphill. 2 out of bounds strokes for Laine. Big mistakes here on 15. We're back on the tee with Lykke Lorentzen.
Perhaps playing so well in the first 2/3 of the course gives you a little false sense of security, and you forget just how dangerous every hole is.
Here's going to be second throwing on the tee. That inbounds is so narrow off the tee. Paige knows how to throw straight. And that's in the fairway. Saarinen up next. What is she going with here? She has a driver. She wants some distance for sure. With a turnover, but this is heading left out of bounds.
Oh, I thought she was going to be okay. I thought it was going to stop in the grass, but she does get the skip OB.
And that's something you lose when you take the driver. It skips forward more than mid-ranges and putters.
Absolutely. That sharp edge, the wide rim, just promotes the skip.
Tattar, 4th on the tee. Currently -1 for the round after 14 holes. Oh. Oh no. She gets a green flag.
So she was hugging the right OB line the entire time, and I was expecting it to fade left sooner, but it must have stayed straight enough that it stayed in bounds. Otherwise, I don't think we would have gotten those claps.
Rachel Turton now for her 4th. Just a moment ago on this par 5, and she's in the bullseye, saving the par. Here's Anniken. Far away still. She's trying to save the par. This hole became so much more demanding after they took those out-of-bounds lines inwards. As we can see from Heidi Laine, who's still putting for bogey way down the hill.
Oh, this is a good visual in that the basket is blind on your second shot, and you're just trying to get over this ridge, get on top of this ridge so that you can see the basket on your next shot.
Paige gets the green flag. She's going wide and right, and this is fading.
Oh, is it rolling? No. I don't believe you.
That's good self-talk.
I believe you heard that, folks. No, don't roll, said Paige. This one for bogey for Laine. That is not enough. That's gonna be a double, so she's taking 3 over par for last 2 holes. And Hansen, she's not saving the par, so she's putting for bogey now. Saarinen, third after the out of bounds. Gets the applause, so on the fairway. Lorentzen. Oh, and it's also fading to the left. Is she safe? Should be. Tataria, she's on the line there with out of bounds. This is now Rachel Turton for par. And now suddenly she's just one back of Heidi Laine. Putting for double bogey. And that's big time miss for Heidi Laine. 2 out of bounds strokes on hole 15. Things are getting tight on the top.
I want to point out something. We saw Kristen point to her disc, and we heard Paige said, yes, I see it. It is actually a requirement that if you are close to an out-of-bounds line, that somebody else in your card verifies that you are safe before you throw. Otherwise, it is, if somebody would call you on it, if you didn't have somebody verify, then that could be given to you a penalty as if it were out of bounds because you didn't let somebody else see it.
That's a great point there. Thank you, Juliana. After this hole, things don't get any easier. 16 par 3, 17 par 4, and the new 18 is a par 5. But this is one of the most demanding holes on the course for sure.
Bit of a brutal track to finish, and not only are the holes very difficult, but there are long, and it seems like they're all uphill walks between the holes.
Yeah, that is true. Saarinen now throwing 4. Looks so simple from here. But the slope on the left and on the backside is really bad. Silva needs this to hold. He does. She's putting.
And she's not putting towards the downhill grade.
Currently our solo leader, Silva Saarinen, after Heidi Laine taking those big mistakes on 2 holes consecutively. This is now Tatar, her third. Gets a skip and gets the favorable roll. She's looking at the birdie. And we have already 3 birdies from this hole today. Keiti Tätte, Katariina Björkås, and Ratana Meekham. Lorenzen now throwing 3. Settling in, yep. Next up, Paige Pierce. This was out of bounds. And
This might be as well.
Oh no! Paige Pierce really unimaginable miss from her. Tattar. This was her just a moment ago. Perfect execution. Gets the forward skip. Looking at the certain birdie. Going forward, tee of 16 with Steen. Taking this wide and left. And skipping
Wow.
the bullseye.
After seeing that drive, you can't appreciate just how hard this is. You're throwing from out of bounds, over water. There's a rock wall on the left. You need to stay on this island to be safe. They're making it look easy. It is not.
Pierce now throwing 6. This needs to stay. It does, so that's about 5 meters away from the basket for double. That happened so fast.
I don't know if she was trying to throw a wide hyzer there or if she just missed her line. Another
Hansen.
excellent shot.
And now Laine needs this desperately. She's been struggling a lot. Can she pick up the pace? And she's out. Folks, she's out, but she's in circle 1, putting for par.
I'm not sure about that. I think that she... Oh, it's optional drop zone.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Well,
Or I might be totally wrong.
no.
there.
I think she has to go back to the drop zone on any throw from the team must come to rest on the island green to be able to mark on the island green. So she is going to have to go to the drop zone.
That's a great point, Juliana. Thank you. So yeah, drop zone coming up for Heidi Laine, and that's going to be an instant bogey, I feel. Going too hot towards the green there. Laine is continuing the struggle.
How quickly things can turn around.
Yeah, that's true. Going 7 under through 12 and now going 4 over last 3. Tattar. For the birdie.
Ooh, a little low. It climbs over the rim.
Not satisfied, but she'll take that. Suddenly Tattar also creeping up the scores. She's now, at this moment, she's tied with Paige Pierce. But Paige is having a look for double with not so solid stance. She's in though. Now Pierce is even par for the day. Saarinen is putting for bogey. Really tight on the top there now. Our Finnish rivals having some tough time on these last few holes. Now the first feature card traveling towards the demanding island hole 16. things are changing fast. Here is Heidi Laine from the drop zone. This is now for 3. It's quite high.
I think she did that to mitigate the distance on that shot. She's got a bit of a tricky putt here because water is very close behind the basket.
Ooh. And Hansen, she takes the birdie, and Rachel Turton is even closer. Talking about Anniken Steen. And Turton gets the birdie, and now Steen gets the birdie from a couple of meters. I assume that's gonna make a 3-way tie on the top. Yeah, they're all 4 down. Silva Saarinen, Anniken Christiansen, Steen, and Rachel Turton 4 down through the round, tied first place. Heidi Laine took the bogey from 11 meters, and that's dropping her down to solo 4th place, 3 down for the day. What an emotional turning point on the tournament's first day for the FPO. Julian, how are we feeling at this point of the round?
Well, I think that no matter what the lead is, as long as there's a handful of holes left, there's a lot of room for movement. Every single hole out here could be a disaster for any given player. And unfortunately, we've seen that for Paige and for Heidi in just the last few holes.
First feature card on tee of 16. Kristin Tattar coming in hot, but settling in. That's about C1's edge, I feel like, for the birdie. Looking straight at the pond, or the river, I should say. Lorentzen on the tee. Heisering to the left. Oh, this is trouble, and that's out. Silva Saarinen has a chance to steal a stroke or 2 from the card combined. Seems
trusting that it's going to come back. And it does. Unbelievably good shot.
Silva Saarinen giving a statement on the tee of 16. She's closest to the basket that we've seen anybody be on any hole prior to this. I'm losing my words here even. Paige Pierce aiming to do something similar. Oh, this is hot and going to the left. Does it stay? No. So 2 out of bounds. Kristin Tattar 11 meters. And Silva Saarinen 11 butterflies away.
Really trusting her disc, throwing it out to the right, knowing that it's going to come back to the basket. Very, very good control of the distance here.
Amazing shot. Just amazing. Flying over this same hole, 115 meters downhill. Does it feel like it?
It's not that down. So there's 2 bridges here that go over the creek, and I heard from a local that by the first bridge there used to be a sign that said "Walk of Shame" to the left and "Walk of Fame" straight forward. So if you miss the green, you have to take the Walk of Shame and go to the drop zone and throw from there.
And that brings us to the amount of detail and infrastructure and effort that is put on this course. It's an amazing place. And Lorentzen, after the walk of shame, trying to save the bogey.
To be clear, that sign wasn't there. They took it away for the tournament, but it used to be there, and I don't know if it'll go back or not.
I'm sorry, Lykke, for calling that one, but that's under the bucket. That's going to be an easy bogey for Lorentzen. And now Pierce throwing 3. Making it a bit more safe. That's about 10 meters left.
That's a scary putt, looking at the water. As with most island greens, after you land on the green, if you then go OB, you play it as normal, out of bounds.
Anniken Steen, tee of 17, the old 18, par 4, 150 meters. That's a solid shot off the tee, not risking the out of bounds long before the island. Turton going a big turnover. She has the distance. Yeah, she's there. Rachel Turton has been playing Ultimate for years and years prior to her disc golf career that started a few years ago, really showing us the distance that she's bringing with her from Ultimate. Hansen, great shot with the sidearm of the tee. How about Laine? She also has the distance. Cutting into the middle.
Those are all fine shots.
Back to the green of 16 with Kristin Tattar. Oh, and she misses low, and that might be because of the river behind the basket.
Very easily could be.
Pierce. No! No way! That has to be out of bounds.
I would be surprised if it's not.
Paige Pierce is out of bounds for the second time on hole 16. And now she can take the meter in from the river, putting for double bogey. Is that her second double in a row? No, that's a triple. That was a triple for Paige Pierce.
I thought it was
double.
a 6. Maybe we didn't see a shot. I don't believe that a 7 is correct for her there. I think it's a 6.
We'll be left to get a confirmation about that, but in either case, it's a huge mistake for Pierce. Gets the skip on top of the basket into the creek. Back on 17, Rachel Turton, her second. Beautiful shot into the bullseye for birdie. Steen throwing 2.
Nice flat shot there, not risking any skips.
It is marked here that Paige Pierce took the triple bogey 6. I'm still giving a little... Yeah, it might be so. And Steen takes the birdie on 17. Here's Hansen. This one for bogey, so she must have missed the island with her upshot. I was about to say that this hole 17 is one of those on the softer side of par 4s, where it's quite simple and straightforward if you get the distance off the tee.
If you get the distance off the tee and if it's not significantly windy.
Yeah, that's a great point. Rachel Turton collects the birdie, and Laine not able to commit enough with the putt for birdie, but she's in for the par. And suddenly, on the top of the leaderboard, we have a tie with Anniken Christiansen Steen and Silva Saarinen. Rachel Turton also there, tied, 5 down for the day. Silva now on the tee of 17. This is beautiful.
Love that slow turn.
Kristin Tattar. High sidearm. Big time power with that shot. Where would you prefer to be on this fairway? Is there a preference towards the right side or in the middle or left?
Because of the distance to the island green from where these girls are landing, I don't think it matters. I think it's close enough that and the green is wide enough. As long as you're in the open, you can attack.
Is Lorentzen far enough off the tee where she could attack?
I think so, though she's definitely going to have to be more precise and throw a faster disc.
Pierce, full throttle off the tee. This is huge. Absolutely smashed. She's got it for sure. Some uncharacteristic errors from Pierce on these last few holes. Double on 13, birdie 14, double 15, triple 16. So 6 over par through last 4 holes, if I'm counting that correctly. So the back 9 certainly biting a lot harder than the front 9. Does this round affect somehow on these players come tomorrow and the final championship Sunday?
Say that again. Does this round?
I would maybe rephrase that like, do these players have to take some specific notes for themselves after this kind of a round on the first day? This back 9 is really harsh, it seems like.
It is. There's a lot of teeth. There's a lot of teeth in the beginning as well, though I think players just happen to be playing well enough that they didn't find the trouble. Here we see Lucky not reach the island green. She will have to rethrow from the fairway side.
Here are some notable stats from Silva Saarinen, brought to you by Paragon Disc Golf. C1X 100%.
100% putting at C1X on this course is absolutely amazing because some of those outside or towards the back of C1 are playing as if they're 40, 45 feet or 12 meters. You know, they're playing much, much farther.
Tattar in the bullseye for birdie. Just a few moments ago, she was about 6 strokes back of the leader, and now she will be about 2 strokes back, I feel like. Or 3 if Saarinen gets this one up close. Yep. She's there. Yeah, but coming back to that point, these players are making preparations for tomorrow for sure and trying to avoid the mistakes they made today.
It might also be that, you know, this course it's very long. There's a lot of uphill and downhill walking, a lot more than we see because the walks between holes are vast as well. So there could be some fatigue going on. It's a long time duration as well from the first hole to the last hole. So it's hard to stay at your best the entire time.
Lorentzen picking it up from out of bounds. She's now in the island. Let's see this one once again from Silva Saarinen, powered by Nakwa Lifestyle Power.
Beautifully flat, straight shot right to the pin. Absolutely no chance that that's going to skip anywhere.
Tattar takes the birdie. She's now 3 under for the day. Really evening out her score between the front and back 9. Really playing solid. Pierce takes the long needed birdie. Lorentzen has to settle for bogey, and Saarinen solo leader at this moment, 6 under par. Welcome back, folks. Things are tightening up on the top. Silva Saarinen currently leading 6 down for the round with 2 bogeys already, so 8 birdies for Silva. Anniken Christiansen and Rachel Turton following suit behind her. A brand new hole compared to last year, hole 18, par 5 for the FPO, 288 meters downhill. This is a big one.
There's a lot going on here. There's an OB patch in the middle of this fairway, so the players right now are choosing the conservative shot, playing short, instead of trying to span that OB. Now, I'm going to guess that Haiti's going to go for the second landing zone.
Oh, stop. That's in.
Plenty of power to be safe.
Hansen, this is low and turned over.
You actually want to be on the right-hand side.
Wow.
Exceptional. But the thing is, even from the second landing zone, okay, here we're looking at the hole. The first landing zone where these people are is the conservative play, and you can throw a putter to that position, and then you could throw another putter over this out of bounds, trying to land approximately where this person is, but that's very close to an out of bounds line there as well. Then you fly over the out of bounds, trying to get to this, for once, a very flat green. There is water on the right-hand side, but there's no danger at all on the left-hand side where the basket is. There is a second potential. Oh, the women are playing to this shorter basket, and the men play to this longer one on the other side of the water.
Rachel Turton,
There are 2 windows in which you can turn to throw towards the pin. Rachel went towards the long one. The gap that we flew in the flyover was the shorter gap.
Then her second, also going for that longer gap.
Exactly,
I assume.
yes.
So many spectators here already on the course, cheering their favorites. Enjoying the beautiful day, beautiful weather. I'm giving a big thank you for the crew down on the course making this event possible, and all the volunteers helping to get this course to show its very best. This is looking so beautiful, Julian.
So now you can see she's got to decide which of those 2 windows she is going to try to hit. It looks like she's going for the shorter one, hyzer around to that then very open safety area left of the pin.
This is now Laine throwing her second. Long shot from Linus, she's safe, looking at a pretty safe birdie. I was wondering to myself if she's going for the eagle even.
I think she was a little... She was kind of in the middle of the two gaps. If she had been lined up better with one of them, then I think maybe she would have thought about it.
At least now she doesn't need to do that. She's pretty close up there to the top. She's shown us already that she can play well here if she can avoid the mistakes. Hansen goes with the sidearm for her second. Makes this wide. Gets the applause and the green flag. This is an amazing hole to settle the tournament for good. So many things can go wrong here. Sten now throwing 3. It's too wide.
It's kind of an intimidating hole to look at from the tee pad because you can see all of the out of bounds in the middle, and it looks so far to clear that creek, but because it is significantly downhill, it is definitely reachable, as we saw with Ella and Haiti.
How about it, Terry Miller on the course at Krokhol. How is the mood now with the first feature card? They're still waiting their turn to be teeing off on 18. They made some mistakes, but how are they feeling? Is there any difference in the mental state of the group?
Well, I know that, as Juliana was just saying, this has been a long round. I know it's only been a little over 3 hours, but with all the hills, plus their practice rounds, plus just probably adjusting to sleep for some of our competitors, I think everyone's been battling through the entire day, and we'll see if everyone gets acclimated throughout the rest of the weekend. They're feeling a light headwind as they're coming down this hole, probably not something that's necessarily welcomed as they're trying to close out, but there is a great gallery out here, and everyone's ready to see them close out on this beautiful 18th green.
Thank you for the insight, Mr. Miller. There and at Sigerud, Norway, the opening day for the FPO at Krokhol Open 2024 is nearly done. One more hole to go for the first feature card, and Silva Saarinen leading the tournament by 1 stroke over 2 other Europeans. She's on the tee first. Conservative.
With an exceptional third shot, it's still possible to birdie with a layup there.
Tatar throws this hard, aims for the second one. Ooh, yeah, she's in. Is there a safe way to force this further shot more to the right and let it fade to the left?
But the thing is, you really want to be on the right-hand side to have a better look through those gaps, but then you need to be more precisely placed to be in the gap.
Paige Pierce going more straight at it. She skips inbounds. How about that?
That was a little scary, but she's in a very good position.
Lorentzen, 1 over par for the day. That is the play for the closest batch of green. At first, when I saw this hole from some social media posts, It seemed quite odd to me that just a green fairway down the hill. What's the trouble here? But now, when we can see the out of bounds, we can see the river there by the basket and everything. It's really beautiful hole.
It is spectacularly beautiful. I tell you, when I was standing on the tee, oh, the eyes are back.
Oh, Heidi save.
Very, very close to that out of bounds line.
Or is that actually... No, she's out of bounds. Yeah, so the string actually is on the grass and line. Another huge mistake on the upshot. Wow. Yeah, but as you were saying.
Oh, as I was saying, I personally didn't think that there would be any other play for me than to throw a putter safely to that first landing zone. But I felt bad when I was doing it that I didn't have the courage to go for the second landing zone. And I'm actually happy to see that 3 of the other women on the 2 feature cards chose that layup as well, because I think it makes me feel better that I didn't go for the long one, but it's still able to play aggressively after this first shot. You just have 2 easy shots, and then you have the hard shot towards the pin.
That was Silva Saarinen, her second. I'm really wondering about that shot from line. Yeah, the basket is close.
Ooh, that just about flipped out.
Sten gets the par, although flirting with the disc falling out of the cage.
Thanking the basket for doing its job as she picks up her disc.
Now Line is putting for par. But yeah, she could have been able to catch one more birdie. But the last 5 holes were really tough for Line. She took a bogey, double, and a bogey, and then 2 pars. If she could have cleaned those ones up, she would be 7 down for the day, which would still be huge, absolutely huge. She certainly feels something about after this round.
Yeah, with that remarkable start, there's definitely going to be a little bit of disappointment with that finish.
It's going to be a few pars for our feature card, second feature card, and Elle Hansen able to card the birdie on hole 18. Now back to the fairway, Lykke Lorentzen.
Lorenzen was out of bounds on her second shot.
Yeah, and that was already her 5th. My gosh, something big happening with Lykke Lorentzen there on 18. Now Kristin Tattar, her second.
A little wide through that gap.
Oh no! And that's exactly what I was talking about. This hole, so many ways to mess up here. But Tattar might be still looking at the par if she gets this one up close.
So Kristen went long to the landing zone, which looked great off the tee, but she was so far left that those gaps were both pretty challenging to hit. So that was one of the thoughts that I had on the tee, that a layup and then a layup could potentially put you in a better position and a better line to be more aggressive as you're going towards the basket.
Here's Paige. This is turning over. Does it settle? Yeah, she gets the green flag. She's about 30 meters away for the eagle. As you said moments ago, Juliana, she had the best possible angle towards the green. What is Silva looking at now?
She's forced to throw a little bit to the right of the basket with something that's overstable that's going to come back left and be safe. I don't think she's going to have the distance to get to the pin, but she should be close enough that it'll be an easy next shot approach.
Silva's third. This is nicely inbounds. Let's hear from Anniken Steen. I believe we have her in the clubhouse after the round. We can hear something from her soon enough.
Anniken Steen, Norway, playing at home and making an excellent round. How do you feel this morning?
Oh, I mean, right now I feel great. I've never played this good at Krokhol ever. And I have been struggling in the past, and I tried to change my game out here, and today that worked.
How do you feel the energy from your local crowd cheering for you?
It's amazing. It's really great. It's really great. Thank you.
Okay, congrats for what you've done and best of luck for tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anniken Steen feeling happy as she should after that kind of a round. 5 down at Krokhol. 3 birdies in the last 5 holes for Steen. Not looking so even out for the first feature card at this moment. Now Lorentzen, I believe this is her 5th now. Still a long way to go.
But a very good shot from that obstructed position.
Saarinen is putting for birdie inside C2 barely, so she's gonna run that. And Paige Pierce is putting for eagle from 15 meters, so about halfway C2. And Tatar out of bounds there. So she's throwing 4 now, correct?
Yes.
Certainly not out. So everybody there on the top are kind of packed. Giving Tatar the green light to set her marker down. Think about the amount of people we're gonna have in the final Sunday on this kind of a green that circulates the basket. We hope those Norwegian fans will arrive, although it might be a bit rainy day on Sunday. Tatar is inbounds after the upshot. Lykke. Taking this wide, skipping edge of bullseye with her 6th, so that's gonna be a double bogey for Lorentzen at best. And Saarinen is looking straight at the out of bounds behind the basket. And if you haven't yet felt the wind at this course, it's gonna come into play on this hole. 19 meters for birdie. So really close, but Saarinen will be taking a par, and she will remain our solo leader after day 1 on the FPO. Pierce running for the eagle, just fading a bit too early. And although we have those American competitors here, we are going to have a full European lead card tomorrow, and then we have Ella Hansen in the chase card. -1 for the day in the clubhouse. Here's Pierce for birdie to go 1 over for the day, and that's in. Big struggles for Paige on a few holes today. I won't still say she's out of it by near.
Well, you better not, because she'll prove that she's not. She definitely can come roaring back. She did have a number of holes that were trouble, but she also had a lot of brilliance out there.
Tattar will take the par on 18, and Saarinen also tapping in for her 5. Gets the cheers for a good reason. Saarinen showing us that many times also seen Finnish happiness on her face. She's a fierce competitor coming from alpine skiing prior to disc golf, and she's known to have those veins of ice. I would say not at all emotion on her face during most of the rounds, but man, can she play disc golf.
100% putting today, as we have come to expect from her, and to do so on such a course with so many challenging greens. Very remarkable.
Saarinen, your solo leader after day 1. Anniken Christiansen Sten and Rachel Turton sharing the second place, 5 down, only 1 stroke behind Saarinen. Heidi Laine able to hold on to the lead card position, although big struggles on few holes in the back 9. Kristin Tattar, Matilda Ringboom, Anneli Togesmaniste and Ella Hansen forming the chase card. And the Innova hot round goes to Silva Saarinen with 2 bogeys and 8 birdies on the day. What a card here. Having those small troubles on 13 and 15 didn't quite seem to trouble her.
Well, she really showed how she can control the angle of her disc, didn't get into a lot of trouble near the greens, and of course, putted lights out.
C1X 100%. Wow, left to be seen if she can keep that for the whole tournament, because that would be something. If you can go 100% C1X for whole tournament in Krokhol, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's hard to imagine, but she's a third of her way there so far.
So how do you feel about this tournament going forward? Do you think that we're going to see some changes on the top, or how does it come to an end?
There's so much trouble out there that I would expect that there's going to be some wavering back and forth on who's at the top. But I'm just so impressed with many of these women. We had not only was Silva showing us 8 birdies, but also Rachel and Anniken. They both had 8 birdies as well. There's a lot of blue on the scorecards, a lot more than I expected.
Now, we are hearing that we are gonna soon hear from Silva Saarinen, and how did she feel about her round? Such an up and down, and I wasn't quite sure if she had all the 100% focus in it coming to this round, and in those later parts of the back 9 she had those troubles, but she found a way to take herself to the lead with 2 birdies in the last part.
I think she had great patience. Don't worry if somebody jumps way out in front on this course, because if you can stay clean, then there's a good likelihood that they're going to falter at some point, and you'll find yourself in the lead. So
And of course, you are chased by Kristin Tattar, Paige Pierce, Ella Hansen also there. Let's hear from Silva. How does she feel after the round?
3, 2, 1. Silva Saarinen from Finland, you are leading the DGPT Krokhol Open. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You won here last year. How does it feel to come back to Krokhol to defend your title?
It feels good. I like this course and it's nice to play here.
Okay, the competition is racing. You are playing against some multi-world champions like Kristin, like Paige. Does it change the way you play?
No, it's not. I'm not thinking about that.
Okay, excellent. Your playing is quite solid in all the aspects. I'm not sure which is your plan for tomorrow and for Sunday. Just continue like this?
Yeah, just continue.
Okay, excellent. So congratulations and best of luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Silva, for those wise words. She shouldn't be thinking about being chased by Kristin and Paige.
Nobody should be thinking about what their opponents are doing, but it is much harder to do than it is to say. And I really am impressed with her play and her ability to filter out everyone else.
And of course, Anniken Steen being the crowd favorite here. She's a local, of course. Lykke Lorentzen also being from Norway, and she might feel some pressure from the crowds and them cheering a bit louder for her, but she's doing fine.
You really need to learn how to ride that wave and take energy from the crowd as they're cheering for you.
Think about coming to Sunday, all the crowd is going to be there, and of course tomorrow also, Saturday, when it's going to be the weekend, of course, in Norway. And wow, there is one more thing we have to discuss. What would you say would be the OTB shot of the day? What was the best thing we saw today?
Well, what's coming to mind is Anniken's park job on the second water carry.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. The 16, I believe.
Sounds about right.
And we had some great shots from the tee, and yeah, we're gonna go with that. Anniken Steen with the water carry. Let's see what is the OTB shot of the day for the FPO. Hole 14. That is actually, yeah.
Picture perfect. Excellent height. Skips right up to the basket.
It's funny because you were thinking about this shot and I was actually thinking about 16 where she was about 3 meters away. The downhill hole, 115. So,
no, this is the one that I was referring to, yes.
Yeah, and I actually had forgotten about this one, but I'm gonna give it to you. This one was surely the best shot of the day, OTB shot of the day. Thank you for that. And then we also have the MPO round starting today. A couple of hours from now, we're gonna have Nate Perkins in the booth with me then. How do you feel about Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe as a whole and these courses here?
I am so happy to be a part of it and to be able to experience it firsthand. I think it's wonderful.
And we are so honored and happy to have you here in the booth in Helsinki for this Krokhol Open. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's see the broadcast times for the Krokhol Open 2024. 9:40 a.m. local time in Norway is the tee off for the FPO, and 3:40 p.m. for the MPO. That's going to be 3:40 a.m. US time and 9:40 a.m. for the MPO. Of course, you're going to catch it live at Disc Golf Network and post-produced coverage on MDG Media. Thank you for them, so making those post-produced coverages. Thank you, Juliana. Do you have anything to say to our guests on the other side of the screen?
I hope you join us again tomorrow.
Thank you for being here, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of hours with the MPO. Bye for now.